If you are scared about going full time with photography, let me tell you that I totally get you because I've been there, deeply and painfully there. I moved country by myself to be able to achieve this without knowing a word of English. I moved from Spain to London without knowing anybody, and I was literally holding onto my camera bag when I was sleeping in a hostel room with 15 strangers. I didn't have a job, I didn't know anyone, I didn't have any flat or anywhere to live, and I didn't have contacts, and I was miserable. I didn't have money. That's why I was holding onto my camera bag, because it was the only valuable thing I had at that time, okay? And after many years, many of you know this already, I became a full-time freelance photographer and a creative director in London. And this was my start in a hostel room with 15 people. And now I live in Bali, in a luxury villa, paying the same as I was paying for a room in London. So I know a lot about fear and how to overcome it. Because trust me, I may be successful right now, but I was incredibly miserable for many years and it was very hard. So we're gonna talk about this today to help you out, because I'm sure we share many fears today. Wow, my arm was suffering. I don't have strength in my arms. I was holding the camera for literally 1 minute and I'm already like weak. I mean, to be fair, I worked out this morning, probably that's why. That's my excuse. Anyway, if you are thinking about becoming a professional photographer, I know how scary it is, and that's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel. I'm gonna talk a lot. I'm not going to rush this video because I know you are going to learn a lot. I'm gonna talk in a very raw way about many things I went through in London, all the fears I had, and I know you have them as well, because every photographer has these fears when they start. And in my situation, yes, I moved country. So I don't know if this is relatable to you, but I can tell you that all the things I was scared about, you are too. And I dare you to comment below if you relate to any of this, because this is a community, okay? Some content creators, we are not robots pushing content out there. We want to connect for real. And I think you know this if you follow my channel. But if you are new here, I tell you this, so subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along, because I share weekly videos about how to make a living with your camera and with your creative skills. Anyway, give me a second. I want to be closer to you. I feel like I'm very far away. Okay, this is definitely better and closer. So my first fear, and this is quite obvious, is the fear of being alone. I moved completely alone to a new country I haven't been before, to London, to the UK. I was super scared because I didn't know what it would happen. And I knew it wouldn't be easy for me to make friends or getting to know people because I couldn't speak a word of English. And I didn't have money, and I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything apart from my camera bag. So obviously, it was my first time as well staying in a hostel. And I was in a shared room with 15 people, men and women. So for me, this was very foreign. I never did something like this before. So I was sleeping holding onto my camera bag because it was the only valuable thing I had at the time. And it was my Canon 30D. I remember it was my first camera ever, the Canon 30D. So yeah, I was very alone, very lonely. I didn't have friends. I didn't have anybody to help me to open a bank account or to look for a flat. It was crazy. I was on my bed with Google Translate making phrases so then I could call the bank to open a bank account, because it's the first thing you need in London if you want to look for a job. All these kind of things, I did them alone. I know now you guys feel so motivated and inspired, and I love that, because when I talk about it, it's like, wow, actually, it's true. I managed to be super strong, but it wasn't like this at the beginning. You have to go through all of this to be able to become stronger when looking for a job, when going to the bank. I was going to fashion shops to drop my CV, and I was going there to drop my CV, and the moment they say something apart from yes or no, I was like, what? I couldn't understand. Plus the English accent, when I arrived, I was like, what the hell is this? Because I'm used to watch American films, let's say, so the accent for me in the UK, it was very different. It looked like German for me. Oh my God, I did even an interview for Apple once. And the interview for Apple was 3 days in front of like 50 other candidates, and you had to talk in front of 50 candidates. And I couldn't speak a word of English. So I was just making things up. I was like pretending to be a client. It was like a game we had to do in the Apple interview. And I was just, sorry, can I speak with someone that speaks Spanish, please? And people clapping at me, laughing. Not laughing at me, laughing with me. I was very brave. I don't know if now I would do this, but let me tell you, all of this shaped me to be a photographer because you earn confidence when you do these kind of things. So the fear here of being alone gets better and better because when you are alone and you achieve things, you feel so freaking proud of yourself. Like now, after all those years, I'm moving to Bali. I will tell you more about this later. I feel invincible. I feel like I can eat the world right now. Of course, many more things I have to live in life and even more scary ones maybe, I don't know. But right now I feel so happy because I went through hell and back in London. I was even homeless once, okay? So my life in London has been crap the first years. It was very bad. I cried a lot. My family didn't support me because obviously, you know, I told you so. So there was no way I was giving up. No freaking way. And I'm so happy I didn't because I managed to make it happen after a few years and become a full-time freelance photographer and creative director and grow my business and then move to Bali. If you are scared of being alone and you don't have support from your family or friends or people tell you that photography is a hobby, I'm looking at my mom, I'm sure she's watching me right now, and to my dad, because it's normal, right? And in Spain, photography is true that it's not that profitable. I mean, it is, but you have to be more in creative hubs, Madrid, Barcelona. You can make it happen in other places, but it's a bit harder. So obviously for them, it's like they couldn't understand. I was going by myself, alone, their daughter, their only daughter. I have a brother older than me, but I was the girl and I moved by myself looking for a job in photography and grow my career. Of course, they were terrified. It's like, you cannot even speak English, girl. Where are you going? So I didn't have any emotional support apart from myself. So if you want something, if you really want something, you have to want it a lot. Because let me tell you, you are going to go through hell many times. You have so many self-doubts. This still happens to me, even if I'm successful now. We all suffer of self-doubt and imposter syndrome. So you really have to want it. You're gonna have complications. People are gonna tell you you are not good enough. People are going to tell you that you cannot make it happen. You have to be very strong here and want to be a photographer enough for you to overcome all of that, because it's not easy. I had very bad times in London. I was desperate, I was miserable, I was sad, I went through everything. So that's why I want to tell you more stories about this, because you had to understand that even if you see me now living in Bali, and thank you, because I know you are so happy for me and genuinely happy because you send me DMs, emails, and I seriously love you guys because the community I have here and the support, it's crazy. But to achieve this, I was literally making sandwiches in a shop in London at 3 in the morning. I had to wake up at 3. I was arriving at 5 in the morning. I was being bullied. I couldn't defend myself. If I would be able to speak English by then, I would have sued the company. They were bullying me. They were insulting me. They were pushing me in the kitchen. I'm Spanish. I'm not the kind of person that sat up when something is being unfair. I couldn't talk, so I couldn't reply back to ask for respect. I was being bullied. I was leaving that job exhausted and crying mentally and physically. And I went through all of that because I knew it was the beginning. So the beginnings are always hard no matter what, okay? So I highly encourage you to go through that. Nothing that is worth having, it's easy. You just have to want it enough. So when all these things happen, you are ready to overcome it. This is the biggest advice I can give you.
Ah, fuck, something has bitten me. Ah. The arms.
Another fear I had was not being able to afford life. I'm sorry you have another job or you don't have a job yet, you are scared about paying bills. I mean, I went to London without having a job and not being able to speak the language. So for me, the priority was to get any job to be able to pay my rent and the bills in London. It's a freaking expensive city. So after being in the hostel, I was sharing a room with a Spanish guy. We were sharing the cost. Maybe it sounds strange to you to share a room with someone else, and more when it's a man, but I didn't have a choice. I mean, a room, by then, it was way more affordable than now. I think by then it was like £700, something like that. And I couldn't afford that per month. I was poor, okay? So I had to share the room with this guy, and then after a few months, I managed to have my own room. And I was still sharing the flat with 6 people. But for me, having my own room felt like an achievement. So all these fears are totally normal, and what you got to do is just work through them. I had this crappy job. I was doing photography on a side, but charging peanuts. I was undervaluing my work a lot. I will tell you more about this later. But you had to do whatever it takes. You had to pay the bills. I had to pay the bills. So many of you I know because I talk with many of you a lot, and you guys have a full-time job and you don't know how to get out of it. I've been there, and you just have to work your ass off in your full-time job and on a side till you are able to push away that job and become a full-time freelance photographer. It takes time. You're gonna have to work a lot. I had bills to pay as well, so I totally understand you. But the important thing is that you do something every single day that puts you closer to your goals. Even if it's just making your website part of it, even if it's taking your camera 5 minutes per day, even if it's just, I don't know, learning something new, a tutorial on my channel. Subscribe because I share weekly videos. Whatever it takes, but just a tiny bit every day, it's going to put you closer. And when you are in touch with your creative side and you are taking your camera every day, even if it's 5 minutes because you don't have time, I promise you, you are gonna keep being motivated. Because if you stay long periods of time without doing anything, you lose the motivation, because I've been there myself. So this is another advice I can give you. I don't know how many mosquitoes are going to bite me here. I never record in this part of the villa because, as you can see, it's so beautiful, the background, but there are many mosquitoes. So the next fear would be something you are going through. I know you are. I know you are, because this is the biggest pain of every photographer, and it's the fear of charging for your photography work. Please comment below if you are guilty. I did talk about this in my private community once. I was charging so badly, like undervaluing my work completely, just because I was so scared to charge for my photography work, because I thought I wasn't good enough. And I told this story once, and once a DJ, quite popular actually, a big one for me, I was so excited to shoot with him because I was a fan by then. So he wanted to shoot with me, and I charged him by then £250 when I was starting, and the guy told me, it's like, Laura, like this other DJ, which is huge as well, he just paid to the photographer £3,000, and you are charging me £250, and I love your photos way more. This was amazing for me, obviously, to know. It was such a feedback, and at the same time, like a wake-up call. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? Do I want to make it as a photographer, or do I want to be stuck working in retail all my life? Because after that hospitality job, I was working in fashion for many years in the luxury sector. I love fashion, but yeah, that's not the job I wanted to do. But that was my job to pay my bills after. So yeah, I was like, do I want to make it happen as a photographer and trust in my quality? Or do I want to keep charging £250? Imagine how many clients I have to have per month to be able to sustain myself in London. So this was amazing for me, because I was like, I'm going to double my fee. I was like, no, I'm not gonna charge £300 now from £250. I'm gonna do double. And guess what? When I started to charge double, people stopped saying I was expensive. Because when I was charging £250, people still told me, you're expensive, give me a discount. When you act like a cheap photographer, people is going to treat you like a cheap photographer, even if your quality is good. So when I started to have confidence on myself and charge double, even not one person told me you are expensive. Just one DJ told me, it's like, can you go lower? And I say, no, I'm sorry. And yes, you have to learn how to say no, even if you want the money, and it makes you excited to be a photographer. Respect your work from the very beginning, because word of mouth is powerful for good and for bad. And if people start to talk about how cheap you are, you're not gonna get out of there, and you are going to become the cheap photographer to go. So just once that DJ, as I was saying before, told me that if I could go lower, and I said, no, I'm very sorry, this is my minimum fee, blah, 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 in a very polite way. And he was like, okay, you are right, I didn't mean to disrespect your work. What I'm going to do is to save money, because I really want to shoot with you. This is the client you want. A client who appreciates who you are as a photographer and wants to shoot with you. Not someone that goes to you just because you are cheap. And so many of you are doing that, as I was doing it. I'm not blaming you. So do you want to be the cheap photographer to go? Or you want to be respected and be a photographer people want to work with? I think you won the second. So this is another fear you have to overcome, and you overcome it by earning confidence. And you do this by practicing and shooting a lot. So don't be scared to collaborate with people and charge little at the beginning. That's totally fine. But you have to cross a line when your work is good enough and you are ready for it. You may know, if you follow my channel and my work, that I shoot from my home photography studio. And this is what made me become a full-time freelance photographer in London, because I shoot press shots for music artists and I needed a studio. There was no way I could afford a flat, and apart from that, an external studio. So I've learned how to build home photography studios in my place, in every place I moved to, because in London I moved maybe in my entire life there, 11 years. I don't know, maybe 30 times. So I'm an expert building home photography studios. I do have videos about this on my channel, how to build it with super affordable gear, one light, and that's it. So one of my fears was bringing people to my home photography studio because my house was very ugly, okay? It wasn't even a house. I've been living in some crappy studios, okay? Falling apart with humidity problems. One studio didn't even have a bathroom inside. I had to go outside because the bathroom was shared with other studios as well. So yeah, I shot a lot in that studio flat and it was terrible. I'm gonna put some B-roll here for you to see it. And I was shooting there with very big artists. One of the artists I shot with in that studio is a Latin Grammy award-winning composer. He composes songs for Kylie Minogue, and he worked in the soundtrack of Stranger Things in Netflix. Imagine my fear of bringing such an artist to that crappy studio in Kentish Town. But I was like, okay, he saw my website, he saw my portfolio, he told me he loved my work. All these photos were taken here. So it doesn't matter where you shoot, because they care about the quality you offer to them. But it doesn't matter. In that moment, I was like, I couldn't sleep at night. I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. What he's gonna think about my place. It looks terrible. It doesn't look professional. I went through that every single time I shot with an artist in my home studio, because for me it's like, maybe it doesn't look professional. It didn't in some of the studios because they were very tiny and very shitty. They were terrible, okay? So I was very scared of bringing this kind of artist to my place, but I was like, do I want to be a photographer or I want to be working in retail forever? So again, if you are scared of shooting in your home photography studio, stop it. Stop it, because this nowadays is even more normal than before when I started. Now it's way more normal, and people go to you because they see your quality, they see your photos, and they like it. So that's it. Actually, it has more merit, because when people see my space, used to see my space, they were like, you are shooting these photos in this shitty place? So I was like, yes, I did it. It has more merit because it's such a small place and you are doing amazing work there. So you have to catch all these things like a positive thing for you. And that way, you're not gonna feel so scared anymore. But of course, even if I tell you this, I know you are going to be scared. I know you are going to be nervous the night before. It's totally normal. Don't envy others. Me, for example, I received so many messages from you and you admire my work. But what it was behind, it was me not being able to sleep with stomach problems. I was like with butterflies and I couldn't even eat because I was so nervous the day before. So now you see me so confident, but you see me confident because I went through all of that a million times again and again and again. And then you become confident. London made me like this. I'm so grateful to London, and I'm gonna go this summer for 2 weeks to see my best friends. London made me who I am today. So don't be scared of your fails or your fears or your struggles. Don't feel you are less because you are having these feelings, because I had them all many times. So please don't feel discouraged by fear, because you have to embrace it to be able to be confident. It's so hot. I had to go inside to remove my sweat a little bit because I was getting shiny. It's so humid here. I prefer to record indoors because of the air conditioning, but I like to record outdoors because visually it's more pretty. The fear of taking gigs, I wasn't ready for. Let me explain, because I really want you to listen to this, and please Do what I'm going to tell you if you want to become a freelance photographer quick. So, I'm mainly a portrait photographer, but if you follow my work and you follow my channel, you know that I shoot within many niches. I do travel photography, I do lifestyle photography, I do product photography, I did even food photography, and this is how I learned, by taking gigs I wasn't ready for. Why? Because when you want to make it happen as a freelance photographer, quite quick, because you are quite desperate to become one as soon as possible, you have to take every gig that comes your way. That's why I always tell you, shoot within different niches, unless you really don't like them. Because this way you are going to become a versatile photographer, and you're going to be able to shoot way more and get more money quick. And then when you grow, like I did, because at the beginning I was shooting everything, even things I didn't like. But that made me a better photographer, more experienced, and I learned a lot. And I managed to have more income, quite quick actually. So then when I grew, I was able to say no to the photography I didn't want to take. I was shooting in events as well, and I love going out. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. If you follow me there, you will see that I love music. This is a big part of who I am. I was shooting with music artists, I was going out a lot, I love music so much. I bought my own DJ setup for my villa and I play music. I share this as well on my Instagram account, so that's why I like Instagram, okay? Just to show bits about my life and tell you when I share new videos and things like that. So follow me there if you want to follow along. But yeah, I'm sharing now more bits about my life in the music scene. I love it, and that's the reason why I was networking a lot. Because I was going out, so then I was shooting in events, in night events, but I love dancing. So it was very hard for me to be with my camera and dancing in the crowd and everything. I stopped doing it because once I broke a flash, an external flash I had, and I was like, no. And I broke it because I was between the crowd, I was dancing. I want to enjoy when I go out, okay? So it's when I passed from being an events photographer to be a press shot photographer for artists. And this, I love it. But how did I manage to get all these clients? By going out and shooting in events, even if I didn't like shooting in events. So that's why I'm telling you my experiences. You're going to have to shoot other niches to be able to find what you like to shoot the most, and at the same time to become a better photographer, more versatile, and become a full-time freelance photographer way quicker. So then when you grow, you can be selective with the projects you accept. I hope this video is being useful because, I don't know, I think it's going to be super long, but I don't care because I think it's going to help you a lot. Please comment below because that helps me to understand if you like this type of videos of me rambling about my life, experiences, and yeah. This one is quite obvious because I'm not in London anymore. Would be the fear of starting over again. And this was a very big one for me because everyone told me included to myself. But it's like when I became everything I always wanted, I left. I moved continent by myself, again, without knowing anyone, to Bali, to Indonesia. So yes, it's scary to start over again because it's like I don't have my clients here anymore. Obviously, now, thanks to my online business, I'm able to sustain myself. So this is another reason why I'm gonna start sharing videos about how to monetize your skills online in the creative world with your camera, filmmaking skills, photography, whatever. So yeah, again, subscribe to my channel if you want to learn with me. But yeah, obviously it's scary. I took a medium suitcase, half of it was gear and a camera bag, packed obviously with gear because I wanted to bring everything I could because I knew I wasn't coming to visit. I was coming to work here as well, okay? And I was living in Airbnbs for months around the island, traveling around with all my gear a million times to find a place where I wanted to be. And now I live in Ubud, in a beautiful place in the jungle, which I love. So yeah, it's scary to start over again. And let me tell you, you can start over again. It doesn't matter your age, okay? I did it just 1.5 years ago again. So there is no age for this. So I don't care you are 40, 50, 60. I don't care. Age is just a number. It's about how you feel and how you live your life. And for me, I was like, yes, I'm ready. Let me go somewhere else and explore life in another continent. And maybe I'm gonna be in Bali 5 years or 10 or maybe 1. I don't know. But that's the beauty of it. When you are freelance with your camera, you are free. You are your own boss to go wherever the hell you want. And it's scary, but what's the worst thing that can happen to you? That you have to come back to your country? Fine. You are fine. You just have to try it. Maybe you try it and it's not for you. That's fine as well. At least you've tried. The thing for me is that I'm addicted to this lifestyle because I feel challenged every day and I feel alive. Every time I have problems, I feel so alive. For good and for bad, but at least I'm living. I'm thriving like this. Maybe one day I really want to settle and have a slow life, and that's gonna be fine as well. The fear is to get out of your comfort zone, but once you do it, it's very addictive. Comment below if you did something like this, because I dare to say if you did it, you are addicted to it as well, because you feel very proud of yourself after. And obviously, the fear goes away when you are in a place like this. I was dreaming about Bali since I came here for the first time 10 years ago. I love this place, the nature, the ocean, the weather. It's amazing all year round. Even the rainy season, I don't mind the rainy season because it's still hot. For me, this environment helps me with my mental health to be more creative. The videos I'm making here and the photos I'm taking here. I'm such a happy creative in Bali, and that's what I was chasing. So I didn't care about the fear. I just wanted to chase the feeling and have it. The inspiration I'm getting here in Bali is out of this world, and the quality of life, and I'm paying way less than what I was paying in London just to survive. So I knew I was chasing this. Of course I was scared. I've been through hell as well here in Bali. I've been sick many times. The stomach problems here are freaking real. So it's not all pink, okay? Of course there are problems anywhere in the world. But for me, it's worth it. I'm very happy here. So the fear goes away once you land and you are like so hype with adrenaline. It's amazing. And you have to try it at least once to see if it's for you or not. What if I fail? Why do we ask always the negative questions? Did you ask yourself, what if I succeed? What if I become everything I always wanted to become? What if I manage to become successful with my camera and I'm able to be remote, for instance? Why don't you think that? We humans are always so scared and we tend to ask for the negative questions, right? I want you to overcome that. I want you to feel inside in your head how your life would feel if you become a photographer and you become a freelance photographer. And if you want to become remote like I am, think about how it would feel to become a remote photographer and be freelance. Because for me, right now, I became that already, and I freaking love my life. I'm like, I'm free. I can move to any country in the world with my camera, that I'm free. That was the feeling I was having when I didn't even move to London yet. I was like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And I was daydreaming about it. It's like, oh my God, I would love to travel. I would love to travel with my camera and take photos and be remote. And when I started my channel, I was like, oh my God, I really want to make a YouTube channel and post every week. This is something I did since I started it. With no views, I was working my ass off, no views, no money, nothing. But I loved it so much, I kept going, till I managed to grow. But I went through everything. I was poor, I didn't have money, nobody was watching my videos. You have to go through all of that to grow. But to go through all of that, you have to keep feeling in your mind how it would feel for you to achieve what you want. Because that feeling makes you so happy inside, you are like, no, I have to become this. I have to become this. I have to chase it. When you have a struggle, when you have fears, when you are terrified, when you are nervous, erase it and think, but if I become this, and feel it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you're getting my point. I'm getting too passionate about this. Comment below you understand what I mean. But for me, being able to travel with my camera and be remote and teach photography, which I'm very passionate about, I feel you can tell across the camera. I can reach you like I want to reach you. But yeah, like for me, there is no other way to live life right now. And when I was homeless in London, when I was crying, when I didn't know how to do it, I was sending cold emails to many brands because I was desperate to get clients. I didn't know how to do things. I was desperate. I was crying. I was tired. I don't know how to explain it. I struggled a lot. But then I was thinking, no, I want to be a photographer. So for me, there was no option B. When people ask me for advice and they tell me, I want to do this, but I had to think about a plan B if this doesn't work. I look at them and I'm like, why? Why is not going to work? Maybe it doesn't work. I'm not able to do it. And I'm like, yes, you are able to do it. Even if you don't know how to or how long it takes you, you are able to do it. For me, that mentality is what helped me to be here right now. Because even my parents call me deluded many times. It's like, you are deluded, nobody's gonna watch your channel. Imagine, my dad was very harsh on me. Anyway, my dad is like that. But yeah, it's like, I don't care. I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep going, because it's like, for me, there was no other way. I knew, this is not an arrogant way to think, by the way. It's like, I trust if I put love and effort into what I do, I'm gonna succeed. Maybe I'm deluded, but being deluded helped me to achieve everything I always wanted. So you just have to want it enough to put the effort and the love to don't give up, because you're going to have many problems. Imagine those days I was homeless. If I would quit and come back to Spain, I wouldn't be in Bali right now. I wouldn't be working as a photographer right now. I wouldn't had 11 amazing years in London. I had amazing and not amazing, obviously, but when I became a photographer, they were amazing. That's why, guys, like, it's going to be hard, but it's possible if you put the effort. So when you have problems, I mean, I don't know, think about this video and say, wow, Laura was homeless, Laura didn't know English, Laura did this. I don't want this in I don't know. Maybe I'm sounding arrogant. It's not to sound arrogant. It's to show you that many times you're comparing yourself to other content creators or photographers that are here, and you think they started here because they don't share their journey. And that's why I'm telling you how I started. Not to show off about, oh yeah, how strong I am, because I've been in the shit, basically. I'm very depressed. That is what makes you stronger. So that's why I want you to compare your struggles with the ones I had, for you to be aware of, okay, Laura is there now, and she had problems as well. So it's fine if I have problems as well. Because the problem with social media is that you don't see the problems from people. Everyone has an amazing life online. So then when you have a problem, you are like, I'm not made for this. I cannot make it happen, because look at this person. He has it all. Yes, but he went through the struggles you didn't see online. And that's why I tell you my stories, and I'm gonna share many more, because trust me, London has been very tough. But if you understand the problems I went through, when you have your own, you are going to feel they are normal. We compare ourselves to people who we think they are perfect, and they are not. They went through the same problems as us. Anyway, I'm going to start rambling because, yeah, I still worry about this video being too long, but I know you are going to be following along, the ones who are really interested on growing as a photographer. So anyway, so please overcome your fears, because it's totally worth it. I hope you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Big love from Bali.